Up next on Eco Company.
A new quiet ride. We're talking buses.
The noise pollution is zero. When you start the bus up in the mornings, you barely can even know the bus is running.
Could these be the buses of the future? We'll hop inside and learn all about it.
Then, teens clean up a famous beach and learn how to catalog what they find.
So we've been finding a lot of cigarette butts all throughout the beach, and I guess a little toy ring, and just little other pieces of debris, just little styrofoam and some plastics.
Teens working to develop standards for measuring ocean trash.
And getting up close and personal with exotic pets. But these pets had to be rescued.
This is Rufus. He is our black and white Argentine tegu.
Why you should think twice about getting one of these. All that and more coming up.
On Eco Company, starting right now. Hey guys, thanks for tuning in to Eco Company. I'm Rain.
And I'm Chris. And did you know 80% of ocean trash comes from, well, you and I right here on land?
There's a lot of groups that organize beach cleanups and cleanups of lakes and rivers as well.
And we found one group of teens who want to take that one step further.
They want to set a standard for measuring the trash to see if our efforts are making a difference.
And Jordan learns all about it.
Now, this piece of plastic may not seem like much, but it's really contributing to a huge problem we have in our oceans. These teens here today are trying to do something about it. It's a beautiful Sunday morning along the Santa Cruz Beach boardwalk, but these teens are not here to enjoy some fun in the sun. They're hitting the beach in the name of serious eco-research.
Well, good morning, everybody, and thanks for being here.
They're part of the Sobrato High School Clean Oceans Club, and they're here to learn how to scientifically gather data on beach trash that is contributing to ocean pollution.
There are many groups that are doing beach cleanups and such, and that's a very important part of taking care of plastics pollution.
Jim Home, better known as Captain Homer, is co-founder of the nonprofit The Clean Oceans Project.
One of the things that's missing in the beach cleanup arena is a scientific protocol for analyzing marine debris in any location. We've been working with other groups to develop a protocol that'll allow us to do exactly that.
Today, it's all about learning that method.
The first thing we're going to do is take an arbitrary start point, and we'll peel tape 100 meters along the length of the beach.
Then they lay a transect tape at specific intervals.
We're basically taking 4 different transects, so they're basically like 4 random spots along 100 meters, and we're surveying all the trash we find within about 5 meters of that transect.
We're just going up and along and recording what we find as far as trash and any man-made items that we can see, and then we record it, and that's what we do our research on.
What is it?
It's pieces of styrofoam.
Sean Anderson is the Sobrato High School Clean Oceans Club president.
What that'll tell us is how accurate these surveys are, and if they are accurate, we can apply it to the whole beach.
Melissa Nepomuceno says no piece is too small to count.
So what have you found there?
So we've been finding a lot of cigarette butts all throughout the beach, and I guess a little toy ring, and just little other pieces of debris, just little styrofoam and some plastics.
There's a piece of plastic, anything close to like foam, pieces of wood that were man-made, wrappers, Band-Aids, and cigarettes.
It's important to know what our impacts are having on cleanup efforts. The only way you'd know that is by starting off knowing what the baseline is. How are things now?
It's important to figure out if the problem is getting worse or if it's getting better. By getting enough data collected, we can tell where that's going.
The beach survey is just the start.
The object of the training is that we can visit any place, any beach or any shoreline around the planet and take measurements of the debris that's on the shoreline and have that apply in an international type protocol, and you'll get a basic understanding of how much plastic is being deposited on that beach relative to other places in the world. The ocean has been used as a dumping ground throughout recorded human history, And just now are we realizing that that's come back and give us problems.
So Captain Homer, along with a few others, formed the Clean Oceans Project.
The Clean Oceans Project is a group of individuals banded together to discover whether or not it's practical and sustainable to get plastic trash out of the ocean.
At the top of the list, single-use water bottles, grocery bags, and other plastic trash directly responsible for killing up to 1 million seabirds, 100,000 sea mammals, and countless fish every year throughout the world.
Plastic pollution is definitely a global problem, and it got here from you and me. We are personally not managing our plastic waste, and collectively as cities and counties and such, we're mismanaging our plastic waste. No matter where you go on the planet right now, plastic has beat you to the shoreline.
That's something the students in the Clean Oceans Project are working to reverse.
Well, what we do is we raise money for our school for different things that limit plastic pollution and plastic consumption at our school.
Like banning styrofoam products. They've got styrofoam permanently expelled from their campus. And getting a water filling station so students have an eco-friendly option to single-use plastic bottles.
It's important that this generation that's coming up understands that there are problems, and that if we don't take action to reverse those problems, it's going to have, dire consequences for the future.
I think we're leading in a good, positive way, and we're being role models for other people. Hopefully that'll follow in our footsteps.
It's a lot of fun. I always have a great time, and these group of people are all my friends, and it's really nice. Yeah.
It's really refreshing, and I feel extremely important to see young people A, understanding that, and B, deciding to take action. That's the only way we're going to really make a difference, is everybody chipping in and working together.
It feels good because this affects everyone, so it's nice being able to share the awareness.
It's estimated that 60 to 80% of all trash that ends up in our oceans starts here on land.
So, what are the top 5 things littering our beaches?
Cigarette butts, plastic bags, food containers, caps and lids, and plastic bottles. So what can we do about it? Reduce the plastic we use.
Pick up our trash, especially when we visit our beaches.
And volunteer for community cleanup efforts. No matter what you do, be eco-wise and be a part of the solution.
Coming up, public transportation of the future, but it's here now.
We have now carried 1.8 million passengers, and it's proving its value as a clean, sustainable technology.
Quiet, clean, and sustainable. What makes these buses run?
And later, meet Rufus. He's a black and white Argentine tegu.
They can get up to 4 feet. They are very, very aggressive. We have had Rufus almost his entire life, and we take him out every single day. It's very hard for someone to spend that amount of time with a lizard every single day.
We go inside an exotic pet rescue facility. More Eco Company is straight ahead. We hear a lot about hybrid or electric cars, but what about public transportation? We're headed to learn about the future from the nation's leader in hydrogen fuel cell buses. Let's go!
Dana, next stop is Dana. Dana, next stop.
Veteran bus driver Nancy Bryant is a pioneer. She drives a hydrogen fuel cell bus. In fact, this is the 3rd generation of hydrogen fuel cell buses she's driven, and she never wants to go back to diesel.
On the other older buses, when we have gasoline or diesel fuel, you can sometimes smell it comes inside the bus. This particular bus, you can't smell any fumes.
And that's not all.
The noise pollution is 0. When you start the bus up in the mornings, you barely can even know the bus is running.
We have now carried 1.8 million passengers with this demonstration fleet. So it's pretty exciting, and it's growing, and it's proving its value as a clean, sustainable technology.
Jamie Levin, Director of Environmental Technology for AC Transit in the San Francisco Bay Area, says they've been a leader in fuel cell technology.
We embraced this technology actually 13 years ago when we saw a first demonstration vehicle and said, wow, this is an amazing technology. Quiet buses, virtually no noise, zero emission out of the tailpipe. And these vehicles travel through the most densely populated regions on the planet.
Sound complicated? It all starts with water, H2O. The 1 part oxygen needs to be separated from the 2 parts hydrogen, which is then compressed as a gas for fuel.
You're used to a car which has an internal combustion engine, and it combusts, it ignites a fuel, gasoline, and that burns and it creates pressure that drives mechanically your vehicle. This is an electric vehicle, all electric vehicle, and it gets its power from the fuel cell. So inside that fuel cell is a membrane that splits the hydrogen atom into protons and electrons, and it frees up those electrons. They go through a circuit which drives the motors.
Splitting atoms? That sounds, well, explosive, like in hydrogen bomb.
It's very different. The hydrogen bomb is not at all chemically or physically related to the use of free hydrogen as we use it. To be sure, it's a fuel. It's got lots of energy in it, but it's also the lightest element in the periodic table. It's 14 times lighter than the air that we breathe. So it's very diffuse, and in an open air environment, it goes up and out very rapidly. It makes it very difficult to actually ignite it.
You won't see anything coming from the exhaust because there are no carbon emissions.
Well, that's what's so wonderful about it. The only thing out of the tailpipe is steam.
And checking the engine compartment gives a new meaning to the term clean energy.
Wow, it's just a box.
You'll see some dirt, but that's not oil or grease. That's why our mechanics love to work with this technology. There's no toxicity associated with it.
No exhaust fumes, a quieter ride, and even more room inside because the hydrogen fuel tanks are mounted on the top of the bus. When those tanks need refueling after a long day of carrying passengers, the bus pulls into AC Transit's solar-powered filling station.
So our next step is to remove the nozzle that we will use to fuel the bus.
Wow. That's really different from what we're used to.
Yeah, well, that's because this is a positive connection. There's high pressure gas. So we're going to positively connect and lock this nozzle to the bus.
Can I push the start button?
Yeah, go ahead, please. So now it's equalizing the pressure between the dispenser and the vehicle, and then you'll see it start fueling the bus.
No noise from gas engines, no need for fossil fuels, no threat to global warming. Instead, a smog-free world with clean air. It's a future Levin believes in.
Well, I don't think there's any question. In order for us to meet the carbon reduction goals, to save our planet, to save the environment that you and I live in, the climate that we're used to, it's important, it's essential to reduce carbon emissions. So we absolutely believe this is our future, and it's a future that's here now.
So I give it a thumbs up.
Have you ever asked your parents for a pet iguana?
Or maybe a snake or talking parrot.
Coming up, we'll meet some pets who became a bit too much for their owners to handle.
More Eco Company still ahead.
Okay, so I know some of you have had thoughts of getting a pet boa constrictor.
Or maybe a South American talking parrot or giant tortoise.
But those that actually do often wish they hadn't.
Riley pays a visit to one place that takes them in.
And she gets up close and personal.
This may look like just another store in your average strip mall, but there's much more to this place than meets the eye. It's a haven for animals like these who became a little too much for their owners to handle.
This is Star Eco Station in Rockland, California. It may look like a zoo, but it's really something very different.
The Star Eco Station is an exotic wildlife rescue center and also a children's museum.
Education Director Jamie Hudson explains where the wildlife comes from is what makes it so unique.
98% of our animals are owner surrenders. So they were pets.
This is the reptile room at the Eco Station. We have all different kinds of snakes and lizards in the reptile room. This is Gaga. He's one of our male green iguanas.
Lead staff member Mandy Demers explains why most of these animals don't make good pets.
When you get them from the pet store, they're normally about 6-8 inches, and they're green and they're cute. And then in just a couple years, they turn into this.
They are popular, but there's rarely a happy ending.
Male iguanas are actually the third most euthanized animal in the United States. Cats, dogs, and then iguanas.
This guy's kind of cute. Who do we have here?
This is Rufus. He is our black and white Argentine tegu. They can get up to 4 feet. They are very, very aggressive. We have had Rufus almost his entire life, and we take him out every single day. So he's really, really used to being handled. It's very hard for someone to spend that amount of time with a lizard every single day.
And the same goes for snakes. Mandy says reptiles are incapable of giving affection.
People just get kind of tired of taking care of them. They can live 20+ years in captivity. It's a really long time to have an animal that doesn't do anything, but you have to clean up and take care of it every day.
Each of these animals are an example of why wildlife should stay wild, a lesson Eco Station wants to impress on current and future pet owners.
Teaching children, what the animal needs, where they come from, how much time and money it takes to have them as a pet, and then they think twice about it.
Clyde, wanna go this way, that way? This way? That way? This way? That way? This way?
Parrots can care for their owners too much, which is why they often end up here. As Mandy plays with Clivey, a jealous rival screams for her attention.
But this is an unwanted pet. That's Maxwell.
And like most parrots, Maxwell doesn't grasp the concept of sharing.
When you get a companion parrot as a pet, they bond with one person, and then that person either has a boyfriend or a girlfriend, a wife or a husband, and they want to start a relationship, and the parrot will not allow that.
Take Sabrina, the scarlet macaw, for example. She has also bonded with Mandy, really bonded.
She's chased people down the hallway, and they've had to lock themselves in the bathroom and call me for backup because she is so aggressive.
Sabrina's an example of a surrendered animal with an interesting history. Her owner also had dogs.
And so she mimics the dogs like that and barks. She just barks.
Parrots are very vocal.
They're very, very loud. They scream all the time, which is awesome in the rainforest because they want to be able to communicate with their flock. But in your house, you don't need to be that loud.
They also go to the bathroom every 7 to 10 minutes, so the mess accumulates quickly, and cages need to be cleaned almost daily. And they probably will outlive you. They have a lifespan of 60 to 70 years. Plus, that beak can be very dangerous. In the wild, these birds' biggest enemy has become smugglers, who care about profit, not the animal's welfare.
The wildlife trade is the third most profitable illegal trade in the world after drugs and arms.
So if parrots are high maintenance, a tortoise is a breeze, right? Wrong.
They need calcium every day. They need a multivitamin every day. They need synthetic sunlight. And those bulbs are $60 to $80, and they have to be replaced every 3 to 4 months.
Oh yeah, these guys can live to be 150 years old. For the schools and organizations that visit the museum, there's always an environmental message.
Mandy, where are we? We are actually inside of a storm drain. This is our replica of a real storm drain. There is these tires where we can pull them down, and it shows the different kinds of pollution.
Visitors learn a surprising fact here. The litter and everyday chemicals which run into our storm drains are the #1 source of ocean pollution.
So there's automotive pollution, there's also agriculture pollution, which is right back there, and then household pollution. So everything from fertilizer to pesticides, we spray on our lawns to help it grow, but people don't understand that that all washes off and goes into the streets, and it doesn't stay there, it ends up in our oceans.
Despite all the animal care that goes on here, Eco Station's primary mission is education.
Being able to spend any time with the kids and seeing them have that light bulb moment of understanding that, yes, this is a really fun animal and this is really great to see them here, but man, wouldn't it be so much cooler to see them flying or where they're supposed to be.
Whatever it takes to make them understand that it is amazing. They're awesome animals, but they don't really belong in a cage and they don't belong in your house for the most part.
You guys are it. You're who's going to keep this planet going and protect it, and we want to really reach out to kids and teens to keep the mission going.
You could be a part of Eco Company too.
Create your own video.
Shoot a story about being green.
Or somebody doing something unique to help save the planet.
Add some music and have some fun.
Then upload your video at eco-company.tv.
So join the company, Eco Company.
And be a part of the solution.
Well, that wraps up another episode of Eco Company. Thanks for watching.
For more information on stories in our show or to give us feedback, visit our website at eco-company.tv.
And remember, you too can be part of the solution. We'll see you next time
on Eco Company.